Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the closing bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Katie Griefeld.
Let's go to some of the individual gainers, if I may, in terms of the S&P, not the S&P, the overall trade. Palantir, number 3 gainer in the S&P 500, number 2 gainer in the NASDAQ 100. As we know, a big government contractor. So riding that rally higher today because of Middle East tensions, also being upgraded to buy from neutral over at UBS. It's the latest firm to turn more positive on the software company in the wake of its results. Again, Palantir up about 5.8%. Along those lines, let's take a look at the defense sector because we definitely did see a rally, really rallying, to be fair, over the past year as global tensions ratcheted higher. This new conflict in the Middle East giving traders another reason to invest in the sector. So we saw investors moving into Lockheed Martin up 2.8%. Also Northrop Grumman, a gain of 6%. And then you've also got RTX, the ticker there, that went up about 4.7%. Energy names also higher in today's session. We saw strong gains really around the world when it comes to energy names because of the Middle East tensions and, of course, continuing attacks from U.S. and Israel against Iran. So ExxonMobil up more than 1%. You had Chevron up about 1.5%. And APA Corp, that went up about 4.3%. And then I just want to mention one other name because we had 3 names moving as a result of Nvidia agreeing to invest $4 billion in 2 companies that develop data center optics that are essential for artificial intelligence systems. So Nvidia, that was up about 3%. Those 2 companies, Nvidia investing $2 billion apiece in Lumentum Holdings and Coherent Corp, multi-year deals. And so you had Lumentum up about almost 12% there, Tim, and then Coherent a gain of more than 15% in today's session. So, yeah, some outperformance there.
10 gainers?
I thought I did it rather quickly and efficiently.
You did, but I'm very impressed. I got 3 decliners for you guys. Well, we can call them all the airlines. How's that? Down 2.5% today. This is the composite airlines index for the S&P 1500. So everything was actually in the red today when it came to airlines in the United States, from Alaska, Southwest, Delta, SkyWest, United, to American, Sun Country, Allegiant, and JetBlue. You did have airlines take a hit today. This not just on tensions around the world, and some airlines, including United, cutting off certain routes through the Middle East, like JFK to Tel Aviv, and Delta doing that, but also higher fuel prices and what this means for demand when it comes to actually people traveling around the world. Our Bloomberg Intelligence team writing that a prolonged U.S. Iran engagement will reduce U.S. airline first quarter profits, especially for the large international carriers such as Delta, United, and American. Airlines as a whole down 2.6%. Also, speaking of travel, Norwegian Cruise Line holding falling today. The company out and saying that full-year net yields will be little change due to execution missteps in its commercial and deployment strategy. The company forecast earnings that came in below the average analyst estimate. The company also facing pressure from activist investor Elliott Investment Management. It disclosed a stake of more than 10% and criticized management decision and spending. Cruise stocks as a whole fell today, not just over what happened with Norwegian, but also oil prices surging the most in 4 years as a result of those military strikes. And finally, in the S&P 500, the worst performer, AES Corporation, BlackRock, Global Infrastructure Partners, and EQT agreeing to buy AES for about $10.7 billion in cash. They're going to pay $15 per share for AES. That's below Friday's closing price because this news had come out last week, but shares today fell, Romaine, by close to 18%.
All right, I do want to just check in on yields because when we talk about the big moves that we had in the cross-asset space and how most of those moves faded, the move in yields actually did stick. You're looking right now, you have a 30-year yield that on a points basis having the biggest one-day increase since January. On the 2-year, the biggest one-day gain since October. And on the 10-year, the biggest one-day gain going back to June. And a lot of that has to do less with the geopolitical aspect of it specifically, but of course the ripple effects, the idea of a potential inflationary effect here, and the idea, as some folks have already said publicly, that the Fed ain't going to do anything anytime soon, no matter what the outcome of this happens to be over the next couple of weeks.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.